Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of, I almost called it the Well-Dressed Walrus Show. Like, that was crazy. I did that with Andy too. The human side of marketing. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with Kurt Stockwell from Well-Dressed Walrus. Kurt, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Chris.
We could call it the Well-Dressed Walrus Show.
Welcome to the Walrus Show.
The Walrus Show, the human side of walruses.
Exactly.
So,
I don't know.
Whatever.
We get back on track here.
Today we're talking about landing pages. Like, what is a landing page? Like, why should I have one? How do I use it? In the last episode, we talked about sales letters. We actually said you could use a landing page as your sales letter. Like, you'd actually put the sales letter on a landing page. So I thought I would tee this up, Kurt, by just giving some context for everybody about what it is and how do we use it. I deal with landing pages all the time. And landing pages are, to me, a marketing tool. Like, they are a strategic piece of your marketing process or strategy. So ultimately, you can use them for different reasons. You can use a landing page to capture somebody's email address or invite them to opt in for a free download that has value and they give you their contact information. You could also use a landing page to, like we said last time, offer something in a sales letter. Like, here's something that you could buy, right? But ultimately, it is a place where people land. That's why they call it a landing page. They click a link and then they land on a page. And then on that page has a very specific purpose. Like, it's not a page about all the different things you do.
Right.
A landing page has one focus. Like, they're there to do one thing.
Right. And I think a really simple way to understand what a landing page is for is if let's say you have a very specific ad for a very specific product and you put that out on Facebook, for example. Yep. And a lot of times what businesses will do is when they say, learn more or get this product or whatever, they'll just default to the homepage of their website.
Right.
So for, let's say, 50% off our, product X.
Yep.
And then the customers, the individual's like, oh man, I'm interested in that. And they click on it and it goes to the homepage of the website. Where's that product? Right. How do I actually buy that product? Yep. And it's kind of like well, duh. Why would you do that? But I think it's something that businesses do often. Right. Because they don't know the concept of the landing page, or they don't know what a landing page, how a landing page should work, or even know how to implement a landing page. How do I even do that? Right. And that's where a lot of times you can miss a sale, is when you're not completing it. We always talk about completing the loop of a conversation, or completing the loop of the story, or completing the loop of what you're asking somebody to do. Right. So if there's a call to action, you need to kind of close that loop. And when they navigate to that next thing, it should be just picking up right where that ad left off, for example.
Well, you did a great job in the last episode of like giving examples of when you would use a sales letter. I think here's some examples of when you would use, or ways you could direct traffic to a landing page, right?
Right.
Like, obviously a Facebook ad to me is an obvious one. If you're going to run an ad, you should be sending them specifically to the page where you want them to take action, like where they're going to buy something.
Right.
If you're running here's the cool part. If you're running a postcard campaign, you can do offline stuff. In your postcard, have a URL. I call it a vanity URL, like a domain name that isn't attached. This might get too intermediate to advanced, but it's not attached to your domain. But it's like, let's say it's will clarify my website is a great one. You guys have clarifymywebsite.com. That's not it redirects people, just like when you forward snail mail. It actually forwards people to Well-Dressed Walrus's website on a page, right? But the reason we buy a website domain name or a domain name like clarifymywebsite.com is it's easy to remember.
Right.
So in your postcard, you don't want to have like welldressedwalrus.com / weird, all sorts of long extension. You want just go to clarifymywebsite.com, put that on your postcard. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, and
go ahead.
You can do it too, where you have, yourwebsite.com / product name.
Yep.
If that domain name's easy enough for somebody to type in and read and understand, then you can get away with it.
Yeah, I know. And there's some good plugins on WordPress. I know you guys are great with WordPress. There's some plugins like Pretty Link that allow you to do that kind of stuff and make it really easy. Another one on your business card. I see this all the time. A lot of times people's business cards just have their root domain on it. It's just whatever the domain is. But if you have why are you passing out a business card? Usually it's like, if you have a sales funnel, if you have a process of moving a stranger, which is who you're giving your business card, to a customer, you want to put them into a conversation. Don't just put them on your homepage. Like say, And if you're good at networking and passing out your card, you'd ask a question like, what's your biggest challenge? And you would know that most people that you're going to talk to, their biggest challenge is whatever is pretty common. So let's say it's websites, right? Like you're a website company. And so you're at a networking event and you know that most people don't know how to clarify their website. And so on your card, it says, hey, if you'd like to clarify your website, go to clarifymywebsite.com. And that is on your card, right? So for those of you listening, like turn your business card into a traffic source for your landing pages. And
absolutely. Yeah. And maybe even if you're really into it, have a couple different types of business cards in your pocket. You know, maybe you've got different domains that you forward somebody to a very specific offer or very specific product. I've seen people do that too.
Yeah. So this is the point. Like, you know, a landing page typically is a piece of your sales funnel. It's going to help move people from a stranger into your email list, or it's going to move them from your email list into a customer because they buy. But your landing page is a strategic moment or a point in the sales process, and you want to direct traffic to the landing page.
Right. It allows you to get your message more granular as well. Think of it that way as well. So a lot of times your website homepage, you're kind of it's kind of a summary of your whole website. And your landing page allows you to be much more granular about a specific product or offering.
Right. Yeah. So good.
And it increases conversion rates. It's really good at increasing conversion rates. So again, if you're opening a loop with an ad and you want to close the loop on that ad or that offer, send them to a landing page rather than the homepage of your website. Be very specific about closing that offer.
Right. So if the open loop on the ad was, imagine having the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. Imagine not having to always water, like whatever the loop is you're opening. And now I'm imagining it. You go click this link to learn how we do that. They click the link, and then the landing page tells them how that's possible. That closes the loop.
Or maybe imagine having the greenest lawn on your block, 50% off our fall package.
Right.
And so when they click on that link, rather than going to the homepage of the website and it doesn't talk about the fall package anywhere, they click on the link, and the first thing that they see on this landing page is what? 50% off.
Yeah. Right.
50% off.
Yes.
Our package. It's saying the same offer again. So then the user goes, oh, I'm in the right place.
I see this a lot. People will get kind of creative with their landing pages. And so their ad or their traffic source, their postcard, their whatever, has one image and one headline, but then the landing page doesn't have the same image. It doesn't have the same headline. And so they're like, is this the same thing? And so it's pretty basic in marketing that way to keep continuity throughout the whole process.
Right. Keep consistency wherever you can. Exactly.
What you say in your ads, stay on your landing page. With the images you use, if possible, use them on the landing page. So
exactly.
Well, Kurt, speaking of landing pages, then I know we're gonna do some screen sharing here. It's the first time in the show we've ever shared a screen, but you're gonna share your screen. So go ahead and start that.
Here we go.
And walk us through actually what a wireframe of a landing page would look like.
All right. Do we got it?
We got it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to offer is, as we're talking, so we have our roots in web development, right? So a landing page is a page online. There's a lot of different ways to create landing pages. There's different resources like lead pages, for example, like that's all focused on landing pages. But your landing page could actually be a part of your website. Doesn't have to be, but it could. Anyway, it could go down a whole nother discussion of SEO and why having the landing page a part of your website is better than not having it part of your website. That'd be another episode. Let's Okay. So when they're landing on this website, here is some advice about what you can do to make sure it's clear and consistent, and you can kind of close that loop. Okay.
So what we're looking at, this is an example of what it would look like.
What it would look like. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, this is not a created landing page.
It's not designed. Yeah. Go ahead.
This is a template. Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
So one thing you'll notice is clear and concise statement of your offer. 50% off our fall landscaping package or our fall lawn package, right? Repeat that same message that you had in the ad that got them to the landing page.
Right. Yeah.
Right under that, a simple sentence from the success bucket. Now, the success bucket, this goes back to the story brand framework of creating the story of your brand or creating the script of your brand.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be talking a lot about that through this process. And so I would always say step one is let us help you with that first. And then you can use that in something like this. That's why that brand script is such a powerful, powerful tool, because it gives you everything you need to create something like this.
Nice.
Okay. So a simple sentence from the success bucket that convinces your customer to complete this call to action. Now, download or opt in or this call to action button, you'll see that it's there a couple times. It's in the upper right corner.
Yeah, I see that.
It's right underneath that opening statement. Yep. Your call to action button should be all over the place on your landing page.
Right.
Elements of authority. So let's say you've had, for example, companies that have used your product that people can recognize, put those logos in there. So we're scrolling down. The next thing that they would see is a value proposition. So this should be the most significant part of what your offer, the success from your offer.
Got it.
So the most significant thing that they should expect. And then you'll see benefit, benefit, benefit. When you do things in threes, the human brain kind of has an easier time kind of consuming that content. So a benefit that overcomes a problem. So you'll see that this, how this will improve your customer's life to solve the problem they have. So you always want to be unpacking the fact that there's a benefit that solves your problem. And here's another benefit that solves your problem. And here's another benefit that solves your problem. And then that call to action button, boom, right there again. A testimonial is another. This would be a great place for a testimonial. Yeah. From a fan or from a customer. And then the next thing, clickbait title. Why should you care about this offer? Really juicy. Why it's important. Right. And if you're asking for somebody to kind of opt in to get a free thing, this is where you could ask for that information: the name, address, telephone number. The email address, if you're acquiring an email address, you can take that email address and put that into an email nurturing campaign. Yep. That's another episode that we should do, is talking about the importance of an email nurturing campaign. If you think about your website or maybe even a landing page as like a first date, right? Maybe they're going to get to the bottom of this landing page or they're going to read through your website and they're not going to buy. Right. And you're going to lose, a certain percentage of your customer due to the fact that they actually didn't take an action. Right. Well, if they've given you their email address, you've got an opportunity to kind of date them a few more times. Right. And maybe if you date them a few more times, they'd be willing to buy your product. So when you acquire that email address, that allows you to send them a few more things about the product. Now, I want to say something about I'm just going to go back to the unscreen share here for a second. Sure. I want to say something about acquiring email addresses, because when I talk to people about lead pages or I talk to people about acquiring email addresses, sometimes they say, I don't want to spam. I don't want to be a spammer. I don't want to send. I get emails from people all the time and it's just spammy stuff. Keep in mind that if somebody's come to your landing page and they've opted in for something you're offering, they're your tribe. Yeah. They're your people. They want to hear from you because they said, hey, I'd be willing to do that. I'd be willing to get that thing that you're offering. Yeah. They want to hear from you. Yep. So you're not going to be spammy. Right. And especially if you follow the framework that you can, the story brand framework or the brand script, you can write really good copy that's not spammy. Okay.
Actually, if we actually go back to spamming for just a second though, on clarifying that, which is like, look, spamming originally was like, I acquired your email address somehow, you didn't opt in for anything, and I just started sending you emails. When people opt in, technically it's not spam. Like they selected to be in your list, and they can unselect, and that's okay. They can unsubscribe whenever they want. Right. That's not spam. That's not spam.
It's a myth that email marketing doesn't work. Right. Because we all have email campaigns anybody I've ever talked to that has said, I don't want to be one of those, people who just email a bunch of junk. Right. Well,
then don't do that.
Then don't email junk. Exactly.
Right. Send value.
Something that's got value. Right.
That's what people refer to as spammy. They think like, and I get like, if your emails have no value, well then, people are going to unsubscribe. That's not, you're not adding value. But if you come from just being transparent and honest and a real person in the email, I think email is very personal. So I digress.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's go back to screen sharing here.
Yeah. Let's go back. let's go back to the template.
Whoosh, here we go. Okay. So that's a good opportunity to ask for their email address. Now, if you look at this we've scrolled down the website about halfway down, and then we're asking for something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
we're establishing authority, saying, hey, I understand you. We're establishing authority. Here's all these benefits. You're going to love it. Here's other people who have taken advantage of this thing and they loved it. Don't you want in? Once you've established that relationship, then you can ask, get down on one knee and ask to get married.
Yeah. Really good.
The next piece here is if you want to kind of unpack some information about, what their life might look like if they start using this product. And then more benefits. Now, this is the benefit that is not solving the problem. This is just more benefits about your service. Right. Simple, clear language to offer and get more people to complete your call to action.
Okay.
The button. A lot of times when you click this button, it might navigate them to something like this form. I got to fill out this form to get this thing. Yeah. Right. Or maybe this button is sending them to the page that they're buying the product on.
Right. Yeah.
And then you could add another testimonial here.
Yeah, underneath the call to action button. Right. Good.
Yep. And maybe you want now you can start putting in some photos, a stack of photos of people using your product, or a stack of photos of, maybe you've got the lawn thing, the pictures of the green lawns, and then a final reminder why you should opt in for this product. And this is kind of this philosophical statement of, a philosophical statement means it's kind of a from to thing. If you want to go from being the scourge of your neighborhood to having the lawn that everybody envies, here's where you can do that. Or if you want to go from being tired and worn out to a life that is vibrant and full of life, that's where you can kind of get into that philosophical thing where, man, I want to be that type of person that is taking that journey, that transformational journey, and kind of end it with that. So that's just a really simple layout for what a lead page should look like.
Yeah. It's a great visual.
And I hope that's helpful.
If people want to sort of reach out to you, can you share that visual, or is that what you go through in like a brand script? Like how does? Yeah.
So that's kind of one of the things we always say, let's have a conversation about what we can do to help you. Yeah. Those are the kind of the things that we could go through.
Yeah. Map it out. Like in a session, you guys could map out for somebody, like once you're clear on the message, like we talked about last time, once you know the message,
right.
Building out a page like this gets a lot easier.
Yeah. And that's actually a service that we would offer. We don't have to make your website. We could actually just build out a wireframe for your lead page. And maybe you've got a tool like Lead Pages, like the tool Lead Pages is actual product.
Right.
They have some great templates in there, but just because you have a template doesn't necessarily mean you know how to say what you need to say.
Oh, I know. I've been through, I've played with, there are so many times, and this goes to your point last episode too, but just, I'm too close to my own project. Sometimes it's hard to say what I'm trying to think on a landing page, and having somebody else, even though it's a template, right? It's a template, it's right there. And I go to the template, I'm like, oh, this should be so easy. And then I'm like, well, what do I say?
Right. Yeah. And I've had people say to me before, are you worried that the products like Wix or Squarespace is going to put you out of business? And I'm like, not at all.
Yep.
Because I've talked to so many people, and there's probably people listening to this are like, oh my gosh, I've tried to create a Wix website and all the pieces are there.
Yep.
But there's so many options. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to say what I need to say. And I spent, 100 hours on the dumb thing and it looked terrible.
Right. Yeah. I think I'm super good at taking templates and making them look really bad, like beautiful templates and like breaking them. I'm like, I don't know how I did that, but that's the downfall of DIY. Like when you try to DIY it, like you spend so much time.
Right. Sometimes you're, like we said before, you're so close to your product that you can't see where there's things missing.
It's really good. Well, I recommend all of you guys listening to this, go reach out to Kurt. If you're looking for landing pages or a sales process that converts, like you've got to start with your message. And once you have the message, you can build out things like a landing page that actually help people move through that sales funnel. So if they want to do that, Kurt, they can go to clarifymywebsite.com, right?
Right. That's
clarifymywebsite.com, schedule time. It's a free call, and connect with Kurt. at Well-Dressed Flowers. Awesome. Kurt, any last minute wisdom about how people should be thinking about their marketing and landing pages? And
the 3 C's: content, clarity, content, and consistency. That's kind of the most important things in marketing. It's got to start with clarity. Your clarity, build some great content. And then once you have great content, be consistent with it.
So good. I love it. Well, another great episode, Kurt. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time.
All right. Thanks, Chris.